Hello everyone, it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 39 from Tropical-Rouge Precure. This was Sungo's last episode, the closure for her character arc, and I was excited because I like the character episodes from Tropical-Rouge very much, even though there are very few, and Asuka's episode last week was just brilliant. I believe Sungo is someone who doesn't have a clear storyline like the other characters, like Laura, Asuka, and Minori. Her story is more of an internal conflict she has with herself, and that's a little harder to convey most of the time. Overall, I think this episode succeeded in doing that, but I feel like the narrative needed a little more time to flesh it out. Elena in Star Twinkle, for example, had more or less the same narrative, not really having a clear storyline until the end of the season. So to tell her story properly, there were 3 episodes for her in the last portion of Star Twinkle. I feel like even though Sungo's episode was very good, she would have benefited from at least one more episode for her, so it could be fleshed out a little better. But anyways, back on the episode, I enjoyed that it started with Asuka and Yuriko training, both of them training and giving a little bit of continuity from last week. Asuka's arc has been resolved, but there are like spoils, and it's nice to see it being mentioned again. So for now in Tropical-Rouge, we have 2 things going on before we go on to the last battle. We have the character arcs being resolved, and we also have the Tropical Club thing being resolved. So we see that the girls are going to throw a big festival for the people who are going to graduate. And this is going to happen in the next few episodes, probably before we go to the last battle. And so I'm very excited. And in the middle of all of this, Sungo sees a TV show and she sees that Yuna is part of a judging and they're going to choose a new model, and she ends up applying for that. And we see that Laura also applies because Laura's super interested, and she was also inspired by Sungo's fashion show. In the earlier episode focused on Sungo. And after that, we see a very beautiful scene, which was my favorite scene from this episode, which is Sungo on the beach with Manatsu. And the choice of putting Manatsu there is very interesting to me because that role in the whole in the whole Tropical-Rouge season was Laura's role. And they found a way to keep Laura out of that scene to give Manatsu something, which is nice because the season is almost over. And Manatsu being the lead needs to be there more, I believe. So it was nice that they found a way to keep Laura out of the scene and put Manatsu with Sungo. That scene was very, very heartfelt. I really like how the girls always support each other no matter what. And even Laura supported Sungo a lot in this episode, even though Laura also wanted to be a model. But talking about the beach scene, the way Sungo opened up and shared the fact that Asuka is someone who is tropicalizing a lot because she found something that she loves doing. And so this is the argument of the episode. When you find something you love doing, you are gonna tropicalize. You're gonna tropica shine while doing it. So Asuka found one for herself, and now Sungo also wants to do the same because all the girls have their reasons for tropicalizing. And Sungo is the only one who doesn't have a bigger reason, and she feels that. And one of the things we've been talking about a lot in the season is that Sungo doesn't get much focus. Sungo doesn't shine a lot by herself. And this episode made it clear that this was a deliberate choice because they wanted to work with that with her character. And they did work with that with her character in this episode. So, like, for her to be hiding a little bit, for her not to really know what she really wants to do in the whole season has a reason. And the reason was clear in this episode. It's because she really doesn't know. That's why she is trying the modeling thing, even though she's not sure. And Manatsu is someone who is always supporting the characters no matter what. And you can say that, well, that is just a very naive thing to do. But Manatsu finds something about everybody so that she can support them. And in this case, she showed how Sungo is cute and how her visuals work well for a model. So it's not just a shallow supporting of her. Like, she really loves and she really believes in Sungo being a model. So she is going to support that. So there are reasons for that. So that was very cute. That scene was adorable. What a scene. So when when everything started with her modeling campaign, We see that she starts helping other people with their makeup. And so the narrative of the episode really tried to put Sungo as a supporter. And Sungo is a supporter through and through throughout the fights in Tropical-Rouge, which was also connected very well. I'm going to get to that later. So Sungo started noticing something, like she really likes helping people. And maybe the best way for her to tropicalize is not by tropicalizing herself. And she tries being a model, she succeeds in being a model, but she's not happy with it. And Yuna notices this. And Yuna goes out and talks to Sungo. That was very cute. Even though I wanted to see more of Yuna, we barely saw her. But it was nice that they connected Sungo with a character that she met earlier on in a Sungo episode. So that was very cool. That was very cool that they brought Yuna back. And so there is another talk, which is, if I become a model, I might not be able to help in the Precure battles. And the girls get very worried about this because Sungo is the protector. She shields them lots of times, and that can create openings and ways for them to jump into the fray without worrying too much because they know Sungo's shield will be there. And this is another thing that they worked extensively throughout the whole season. Sungo shielding everything. Sungo using her shield for everything. We see Kira Coral doing this in almost every episode. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But what matters is that usually it does protect, it does work. A shielder who actually protects in Precure is very important. Yes, I am shading Cure Anje, but overall, it's also always very nice when they are able to talk about the Cure side without being transformed, without transforming. I really like when they talk about the Cure life in their real life, So by putting that, Sungo is worried and the girls are like, no way, girl, we are going to take that role and protect you and you can do whatever you want to do. We are going to fight until you arrive and it's all going to be fine. And who says this is Laura. And Laura does this and it's also very heavily tied to her character because she wants to be the queen. And this is even mentioned in the episode, like, you looked like a real queen at that moment because Laura really can take responsibilities. So I really like that about her character. And so Sungo leaves the girls when a Yaraneda attacks and she goes on to the last part of the audition. While the girls fight, Sungo is there, but she's worried. And she really wants to be with the girls. But that's not only it. The modeling part is not something that really called on Sungo's heart. Because she noticed while putting on makeup with the other girls that she really likes putting the glow on someone else. Her concept of beauty is thrown into someone else and it's making that other person glow. That's what makes Sungo happy and that's what she tries doing. And so she ends up going back to the fight and she fights with the girls. And so the girls were having a hard time, but with Sungo's shield, they can win the battle. And this battle was very nice, actually. I really enjoyed it. And look, Sungo being a protector and being someone who just acts as a supporter in fights as Cure Coral worked super well with the whole plot line because she also wants to support other people with her concept of beauty. And both things came together so well. It was so well done. The way Sungo was able to create lots of shields because of the way she crossed her fingers and because she realized that that's what she wants to do, be a supporter for people, was incredible, really incredible. It's like when you discover something about yourself, when you tropicalize in your personal life, you become stronger as a Cure. And that's what happened with Coral in this episode. So it was awesome. I really loved it. So Coral is really able to tropicalize now. Sungo is able to tropicalize now. And I loved the last scene of the episode that Manatsu was ready to do her usual tropicalizing scene. And Sungo stepped up and did it in her place. Manatsu's face was awesome. And Sungo's face was also awesome. This was another thing that was great about this episode. Facial expressions. Loved it. Not as great as Asuka's episode, but it's still great. So overall, I think this episode was great. But I feel like the only problem I have with this is that the way Sungo was able to realize what she loves could have been more fleshed out. That's why I think she deserved 2 episodes at least. I think 2 episodes would be good, would be great for Sungo. If she had 1 more episode to be able to realize that, it would have been better worked, in my opinion. So overall, a great episode. But I wish we had a little bit more time to flesh out the fact that she likes being a supporter. She likes supporting other people in her life and as a cure. As a cure, I think it was great, but in her personal life, it could have been a little bit more fleshed out. But still good. Still very, very good. And next week, it's Minori's episode. So girl, I am super, super excited for that. I just cannot wait. Anyways, guys, that was my opinion on episode 39. Please leave a comment with yours and let's keep talking in the comment box below. And I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.